Welcome to World Sage, where ancient wisdom meets modern insights, in the heart of a dense forest, where the whispers of ancient trees carry secrets of a time long forgotten. There lived a Native American sage named Akecheta, which means warrior in his tongue. Though his name spoke of battles and strength, his life was a testament to peace and an unwavering faith in the Creator alone. Akecheta was unique among his people. He was a monotheist who submitted his will entirely to the guidance of the Great Spirit, rejecting any scripture that hinted at polytheism or paganism. His wisdom was vast, and his connection with the divine was profound, for he believed in following the path illuminated by prophets, whose names the world had long forgotten. One day, as the first light of dawn cut through the darkness, a curious young boy named Takoda, meaning friend to everyone, approached the sage. Takoda was known for his insatiable curiosity and his greedy appetite for knowledge that knew no bounds. He had heard tales of Akecheta's wisdom, and he sought to learn the secrets that made the sage so revered among his people. "Akecheta," he began, his eyes wide with anticipation, "I wish to learn from you. Teach me the lessons that have guided you through life." The sage looked into Takoda's eager eyes and saw a reflection of his younger self, a soul seeking understanding in an ever-changing world. He smiled gently and said, "Very well, Takoda. But know this, the path of wisdom is not gained through eagerness alone. It requires patience, humility, and most importantly, an understanding of one's own limitations." Takoda nodded vigorously, ready to absorb everything Akecheta was willing to teach. The sage led him to a clearing where the sun's rays painted the sky in hues of orange and gold, and began to share his story, a story that was not just his own, but one that echoed the timeless struggle between humility and greed. "There was a time," Akecheta started, "when I too was consumed by a desire to know all, to see beyond the veil that separates the mortal world from the divine. My quest for knowledge was insatiable, much like yours, Takoda, but it was not guided by wisdom, it was guided by greed." Takoda listened intently as Akecheta recounted his journey, a journey that took him through the darkest corners of his soul. The sage spoke of visions that promised him power over the elements, of whispered secrets that tempted him with the promise of immortality. But with each step he took down this path, Akecheta felt himself drifting further away from the Creator he so devoutly worshipped. "It was then that I encountered a vision that would change the course of my life forever," the sage continued. "I found myself standing at the edge of a vast and infinite void, and before me stood a figure, neither man nor spirit, but a presence that filled me with an indescribable sense of awe. The figure spoke of the dangers of greed, of the emptiness that accompanies the thirst for knowledge without understanding, for power without wisdom. It showed Akecheta the lives of those who had fallen victim to their greed, their spirits forever wandering, lost and disconnected from the Great Spirit. This vision," Akecheta said, his voice barely above a whisper, "taught me that true wisdom lies not in seeking to know everything, but in understanding the value of knowing one's place in the grand scheme of creation. It taught me that the path to enlightenment is paved with humility, not with the stones of greed and ambition." As the day gave way to night, and the stars began to fill the sky with their ancient light, Takoda sat beside the sage, his mind racing with thoughts and emotions he could not fully comprehend. He realized that his greed for knowledge had blinded him to the true essence of wisdom. "Akecheta," he finally said, his voice tinged with a newfound respect, "how do I begin my own journey towards understanding?" The sage placed a hand on Takoda's shoulder and replied, "By recognizing that the journey is not about accumulating knowledge, but about learning to see the world and oneself through the eyes of humility and compassion. Start by submitting your will to the Creator, for in doing so, you open your heart to the wisdom of the ages." As Takoda pondered Akecheta's words, the sage stood and walked back into the embrace of the forest, leaving the young boy alone under the canopy of stars. In that moment, Takoda realized that the greatest lesson he could learn from the sage was not one of knowledge, but of understanding the delicate balance between seeking and surrendering. And so, as the moon climbed high into the night sky, casting a silver glow over the forest, Takoda made a vow to walk the path of wisdom, guided by the lessons of humility and faith. But as the world around him slept, a question lingered in the air, a question that would haunt him for days to come: what became of the sage, and where did his journey take him? The mystery of Akecheta's fate was a reminder that some truths were meant to be sought but not always found, and that in itself was a lesson worth pondering. In the sweeping expanse of the American plains, where the sky kisses the earth in an endless horizon, there lived a Native American sage named Maka, which means earth in his native tongue. Known for his deep spirituality and devotion to a singular creator, Maka was a revered figure among his people, the Lakota. He believed in a supreme God, rejecting any scriptures tainted with polytheistic beliefs, and lived his life guided by visions of ancient prophets whose names were lost to time. Maka's life was a testament to simplicity and spiritual richness. He often retreated to the solitude of the vast prairies to pray and meditate, seeking guidance from the Creator. His people respected him not only for his wisdom but for his evident connection to the divine, which he claimed was open to all who sought it with a pure heart. One year, a severe drought threatened the Lakota. Crops failed, buffalo became scarce, and the river that threaded through their land shrank to a mere trickle. The people, desperate and fearful, turned to Maka for guidance. Gathering his tribe around him, Maka said, "The earth is reminding us of the folly of greed. Just as we must not take more than what we need from the land, we must guard against the greed within ourselves." He proposed a plan to ration the remaining resources and suggested a day of fasting and prayer to seek forgiveness for any excesses and ask for the rains to return. But not all hearts in the tribe were in harmony with Maka's teachings. A young warrior named Ska, which means white for his light-colored hair, questioned Maka's guidance. Ska was a proud and ambitious man, often dreaming of wealth and influence beyond the simple life his tribe led. "Why should we suffer because of some unseen force? We should raid the neighboring tribes, take what we need. We are stronger, and they have plenty," he argued. Maka, saddened by Ska's words, responded, "To take from others out of greed only leads to destruction. It corrupts the soul and brings dishonor to our people. We must trust in the Creator and maintain our integrity." Despite Maka's counsel, Ska's words stirred unrest within some of the younger members of the tribe. One night, driven by desperation and goaded by Ska's relentless ambition, they raided a neighboring tribe. They returned with food and supplies, but at a great cost. The raid incited a series of retaliatory attacks, leading to a cycle of violence and bloodshed. As the conflict grew, Maka continued to advocate for peace and reconciliation, warning that greed and aggression would only lead to further suffering. He remained committed to his faith, spending his days in prayer and urging his people to seek a peaceful resolution. Months passed, and the violence finally ceased, but the damage was profound. Many lives were lost, and the unity of the Lakota was fractured. Ska, witnessing the consequences of his actions, was consumed by guilt. He approached Maka, seeking redemption. Maka, whose heart held no room for resentment, embraced Ska. "The Creator is merciful," he told him. "Learn from this. Let go of your greed and lead with generosity. That is the path to true strength and honor." With Maka's guidance, Ska changed. He became a devoted follower of Maka's teachings, working tirelessly to heal the wounds his actions had inflicted upon his tribe and their neighbors. In time, the rains returned, nourishing the parched land. The tribe rebuilt their bonds with each other and with their neighbors, stronger and wiser from the ordeal. Maka's teachings on the dangers of greed and the virtues of humility and generosity became central tenets of the tribe's ethos. Maka lived out his days as a beacon of wisdom and peace. When his time came, the Lakota mourned deeply but were comforted by the legacy of harmony and respect he left behind. His life, marked by unwavering faith and the courage to uphold the principles of love and justice, continued to inspire not only his tribe but all who learned of his story. Thank you for joining us on another journey into the past with World Sage. If today's story inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might appreciate these timeless lessons. Don't forget to comment below with your thoughts or any wisdom you've encountered in your own life. Join us next time as we continue to explore the wisdom of the ages, bringing ancient insights into today's world. Until then, keep seeking knowledge and growing wiser every day. Farewell.